My name is Gitonga. I am a senior policy analyst at Kenya Institute for Public Policy Research and Analysis. Acronym is KIPRA. I think the benefit of having institutions such as AACC is to consolidate the gains and the opportunities in the audiovisual sector for the whole continent, because there's obviously lessons that can be learned one country to another and skills that can be transferred similarly. So for me, it's just a collaborative aspect. The AACC has some policy priorities which, if well implemented, could then maximize the resources. Some of the aspects that we're looking at is capacity building, which is obviously a need. The need for data and research, which for institutes like KIPRA would be very beneficial to then inform policy advice. So I think it's just to continue identifying priority areas and then transition into the next through consistent monitoring on what's going on and what's necessary. What I can hope that is prioritized is some sort of strategy or policy that can guide the audiovisual sector in the key areas of concern. Some of them are in their policy priority, for instance, the capacity building I was talking about earlier. Others are financing, creative infrastructure that can then enhance the same, access to technology and equipment that will be required for audiovisual sector. Those would be something that could be a priority and that can be documented in a strategy. That would just be my perception on what would be necessary going forward. The fact that it's domiciled in Africa is the advantage that AACC has. So the continent is obviously filled with stories and resourceful people that can leverage on audiovisual to communicate the same. So the idea is just how to leverage on AACC to maybe provide a common platform within which all these audiovisual stakeholders can present their content for access to the wider market. I think the importance of collaboration is similar to what I've said earlier, just to leverage on expertise and opportunities that are available in the content. How to leverage on is a strategy, as we've mentioned earlier, would be important. And one of the proposals that a strategy could consider is having a platform. And this borrows from what Kenya is doing. In Kenya's bottom-up development agenda, bottom-up transformation development agenda, you can see that developing, what were we calling it, an arts portal or something like that, where all artists are documented in a platform, would be beneficial for Kenya's economy, so that if you're interested in a certain skill art form, you can access the individual or the company through that platform. So similarly, the AACC could establish a network or a database of stakeholders in the sector who can be available for different purposes depending on what their advantage is, which can then be documented in a similar platform. The fact that it will consolidate audiovisual in the African continent, and there's a lot of content. There's a lot of content that different audiences would be interested in. In different engagements, I have established or discovered that Kenyan content is actually consumed outside the continent. So obviously, there's a demand. So once that is explored and partners are aware of the demand, then they could find ways in which they could engage the AACC with enhancing access of the content and probably also putting in some of the resources required to ensure the access is available.